calls now before we go to some more of your comments. We got a gal here with me. What you saying, bro? I mean, this is kind of out the blue. What you saying?
Taking the words from the man himself, Callum. Zubi! Zubi! I'm gassed. I'm gassed. I've been worrying, Terry, about how we're gonna build this team, the construction of the squad, what's gonna happen over the next coming days, and this right here is putting a lot of my worries about the midfield to rest because Thomas Partey and Jorginho leaving, we all know we were going to have a massive issue in that midfield in the summer. And to not wait until the summer and to get it done now, to forward think, I am very happy with this signing. This is a great player. This is somebody who Man City have wanted, Liverpool have wanted, Bayern have inquired about him, Manchester United I think inquired about him. There's so many other clubs have inquired about him. Arsenal ask about, oh, what pull do you have? What pull do you have? Show some pull. This is one of those signings that shows we have pull, we still have pull in the window, and Arteta and the people in charge getting the work done behind the scenes to make sure that he does come to Arsenal this upcoming summer. Wow, you got to give him credit. And to everyone thinking, "Oh, get rid of the manager, sack the manager." This just goes to show you they're already planning the summer signings with Arteta. The team is planning to continue to strengthen the squad. And Thomas Partey, Jorginho leaving, I'm not as concerned anymore because we now know we have a quality midfielder coming in, and with Miles Lewis Skelly, Ethan also coming through. Maybe one more midfielder at best, but focus on the attack. Get us that striker, get us that player this window, and we've already kickstarted our summer window the right way. I love it. Amazing. And people are underestimating how good of a player this is, how good of how much quality this guy has. And yeah, man, I was worried about how we're going to replace Jorginho and Partey. Now I'm not as worried.
Listen, I understand. I mean, I'm reading a lot of comments here, Gal, from Arsenal fans online saying, Terry, I'm going to crash out if we get a midfielder before an attacker. This shows Arteta is plays terrorist football. Why are we going for a midfielder when we need a striker? Do you think people are not seeing the bigger picture here?
100%. You need to replace so many players. It's not just about Trossard, Jesus, Raheem Sterling leaving. I do think we're still going to go and try to get a striker this window, but to get a striker this window and to try to and to basically say, oh, we're going to get it done now. I don't think it was. I don't think maybe we didn't do enough background work to get it signing in for January this early. But there's still a lot of time to get a striker in this window. Potentially get a player on loan like Vlahovic, or go pull a trigger on Benjamin Sesko. As for Nico Williams and all these other attacking signings, we'll see. But it doesn't matter what order you're getting in. This is getting a deal done in the summer, so no one else comes and takes that player from us. We've missed out on players in the past because we hesitated too much. They're getting their deal done in the for the summer now. Just goes to show you that they want this player. This is a player for the future, and we still got a lot of work to do. So don't write off anything yet. We did the similar thing with Declan Rice. We had the Declan Rice deal pretty much planned out in January to get done in the summer. So I do think they're planning ahead for next season. And as for right now, I don't think they've given up on the season. I think they're still going to go and get an attacker this window. But hey, as long as I've always said this, Terry, as long as you get your groceries before the store closes, it doesn't matter what order you get your groceries in.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that football fans, we can be quite
Nitpicky.
not nitpicky. We can be a bit dull of mind sometimes, and we think, well, priority striker, priority signing must come first. Depends on who that priority individual is. Are they available now? And just because one thing that I've always found weird about that approach is you expect your club to work on one deal at a time. I expect top level football clubs to work on all their deals at the same time. But there's 8 hours in a day. Okay. When it comes to negotiating, you're not spending 8 hours every day talking about one player until it gets over the line, talking to your accountants, talking to the financiers, talking to the agents. You should be doing that. You should be talking, in fairness, say you sign 5 players, you probably should be talking to 15 people at the same time across different positions in case one falls through, in case there's an injury. Because you look at the situation now, let's just say your number one striker target is Isak, and all you're focused on is signing him. No work on anybody else. And then he ruptures something. Shit, we're fucked. We've got no backup plan. There's no one else we've been talking to. So football fans say these things, oh, we should just get our main priority first. I think you're being very naive. This is not FIFA. This is not Football Manager. it doesn't really work in that way. So look, I think the fact you'll probably find as well, you've been working on this deal for a long time. There's an element of PR maybe around that. Give it to Sammy McBell. Let's get that news out there. Let's inject a little bit of positivity back into the Arsenal fan base, which I do think this news should do. I'd love it to be announced today that Man United were on the brink of announcing a deal to bring in a midfielder of this quality into the club. And, how do you think it will transform your midfield next season?
Having Jorginho and Partey playing along Declan Rice or Mikel Moreno, you can see the ability they have on the ball and how they're able to play make from the back. And it definitely helps us a lot more when we have more control in the games. We're able to recycle the ball a lot better, and definitely even benefits our attack as much as our defense and controlling the game. So I do think he'll benefit the team massively. And with Jorginho and Partey leaving, the planning being in place, Terry, is the key thing, because we do not have a plan if Jorginho or Partey go down. We don't have a player like them, and if they're both out of contract, we now can at least have a like-for-like replacement with the better legs, because Thomas Partey's legs look like they're gone. We seen Jorginho the other day. Defensively he can't stay. He can't find his positioning as he used to. So it's a massive upgrade on what we currently have, and I don't think it's too much of a change of what we currently have. It's just a massive upgrade. And the attack, everyone needs to relax, because there's one thing that we know. Now that Jesus is injured, we're gonna make a signing in this window. If we don't now make a signing in this window, and we got Zubimendi for the summer, what does that really help us this season? We need to do something to help us this season. If Vlahovic, if Benjamin Sesko, Nico Williams, whatever it is, we just need an attacking signing to come into this team, and preferably, since Jesus is injured, a striker. Because if Havertz goes down, we're relying on Trossard to play as the striker, and I don't really want to rely on Trossard to be the striker for the remainder of the season.
No, you're right. You do. I would be fuming if Man United were in your position and we got to the end of the season. Sorry, we got to this point. We had these injuries and we didn't go and sign a striker. I know a lot of people think your season is over. I understand that trainer's fault, but it isn't. And what I mean by that is, look, someone can have the opinion that you're not going to win the league and that you're not going to win the Champions League and that you're not going to overturn the deficit with Newcastle. And it's fair to hold that opinion.
Facts.
I wouldn't want my club to believe that.
Sure.
If your club admits that, that's damning. The same people that demand high standards shouldn't be angry. They should be pushing your club to go and do something. At least don't give up. Because giving up shows there's no high standards. And that's the element of Arsenal fans the last few days where I've seen a few go, I don't even want us to buy because I don't want the manager being given any more opportunities. And I think, well...
Because they think the manager is going to get sacked if he doesn't get given any. They want the manager gone so bad that they would be saying, let's make sure he doesn't get any reinforcements so he can't salvage anything.
Yeah, I find a lot of this conversation is shrouded in people wanting their opinion to be correct, if that makes sense. I feel that it's almost getting away a little bit from people being objective at what's best for their club, and it's it
comes from anger. It comes from anger from performances, results, lack of.
David Ornstein has just stated Arsenal pursuing a deal to sign Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. Arsenal working to land the 25-year-old midfielder next summer for considerable period, plus reignited long-term pursuit during the process of recruiting Mikel Moreno. So Sammy McBell it's slightly different wording to Sammy McBell. Sammy McBell has said Arsenal will make the signing in the summer. Ornstein is now saying it's being pursued because, again, officially theoretically until the day that he holds the shirt up on the 1st of July, it won't be completed because you've got to wait to that date. But Ornstein has confirmed that the story from Sammy McBell is true. It looks like Arsenal are going to sign him. So viewers that were saying they were skeptical of the story, are you still skeptical of the story now that it has been backed up? Could
it be hijacked? That's the only thing that people are worried about.
Potentially. potentially.
That's someone missing. I
Yeah, I
know
mean,
Chelsea don't need a midfielder, so as long as it's not Chelsea, I kind of feel comfortable.
yeah. Listen, yeah, Chelsea won't be going in for him. That's for sure. So you've not got to worry about Chelsea coming in. But yeah, this is phenomenal business by Arsenal. And listen, Samuel McBell, a lot of people trust him. I think he's a very good journalist. To read his words again, Arsenal to land Real Sociedad midfielder Zubimendi at the end of the season. That's a really telling headline for me. They are landing him. Set to sign £51 million as well. I mean, when you think about the price he got, 51 million, very good.
That's what you're looking for, Garnacho, basically.
Yes.
So in the grand scheme of things, I feel like that's a really good deal. That's almost less than half of what we paid for Declan Rice. We paid almost a similar fee for Thomas Partey. What is it, 4 years ago, 5 years ago now? I feel like that's way below market value. His release clause is very reasonable. So we definitely found a really good opportunity in the market. I didn't realize it was that cheap. 51 million, Terry. 52 million or something like that. What is it exactly?
51. Well, the article says £51 million is what he said here. But the
That's
opening
a
line
bargain.
the opening line of the article is so telling. The opening line is Arsenal will land long-term target Martin Zubimendi at the end of the season. So again, people can I interpret the headline this way, this tweet. He said they're advancing the deal. The opening line of the article, Arsenal will land. Arsenal will sign. That tells for Sammy McBell to make that statement, there has to be a high level of confidence for me. So look, if it ends up being wrong and it goes wrong, that's on Sammy McBell. But
I want to know how the Arsenal fans feel, and also how do the rivals feel? Like Hussam, who had a personal vendetta versus Zubimendi. It's going to be funny when you do the next show with him.
Well, that was going to be my question to you. Like, how do you feel as an Arsenal fan, knowing that essentially you have convinced a player to join you after he rejected the most successful team in English football history last summer?
I feel like I'm looking at Arteta and I'm saying he might have more pull than people think, because they're like, which player would want to sign for Arteta? Where people are telling me they're always talking about Arteta, Arsenal. Who could Arsenal really pull? Well, we've been able to get Declan Rice, a prominent midfielder who Man City wanted. We've now been able to potentially get Zubimendi at Arsenal also. And that's two midfielders who all these clubs have wanted, Man City, Liverpool, so many of the other teams. So clearly Arsenal have pull. Clearly people are viewing Arsenal as a club that is a really good project to join, and an opportunity to kick on your career. And Zubimendi joining us just proves that point more. Now we just need to go and get those attacking signings, and I do think our team is still in the mix as one of the better teams next season. People are saying it's PR. Well, if the deal gets done, I don't care how much PR it is. If the deal gets done, that improves our team, and that's the end of the day what we want.
Yeah, look, it's very, very interesting indeed. And look, listen, there's an element of PR to this. There's an element of maybe Arsenal thinking, let's get a very, very positive news story out there, because we spoke about this last night on the show. The Arsenal fans at the ground feel flat, and this is where PR can help you, because if you have a really good atmosphere, let's just park the Liverpool game tonight. You got a massive derby tomorrow. You need an atmosphere. There should be an atmosphere, but this might help if this news over the next 24 hours advances. And the one thing you can say about a hijack, if you guys get a pre-agreement in place, so these contracts exist in all manner of business where it's pre-agreed, it's predetermined, and he can't pull out, then it's great. For instance, Chelsea did that when they signed Christian Pulisic. Chelsea also did it when they signed Christopher Nkunku. They did the deal in, like, I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if you get this deal agreed in the first 2 weeks of Feb. Because that was when Chelsea did it with Nkunku, and when Chelsea did it with Pulisic, I think it was like the first or second week of February, they got those deals announced. And in that way, nobody can kind of hijack it in that regard. But a phenomenal piece of business, really, as him as a player.
I'm gonna get back to work, Terry. Appreciate it, man. This is great news. My first reaction genuinely is, Zubimendi, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
When I first read it, I twice clicked on to make sure it was the real journalist. I thought, this looks like a fake one.
I was shocked.
It's some
like good news. One. It's good news for Arsenal fans ahead of the North London derby, even if it is PR. As long as we actually get the signing, who gives a shit? when we
Mate,
find out.
that should be how all of you feel right now. If there's
And shouldn't people be happy? Because they always say, "Where's the planning?" At least we're finally showing we're planning something out.
Do you know what's really funny about this? I know you've got to shoot. Any Arsenal fan who's angry about this tells me that their agenda for the team to fail or their agenda for the managers to fail at your club is more important to them than their club actually winning. Because,
That's crazy.
like we said, I'll let you shoot, though. I know you've got to get back to work, my friend, and I'll carry on the conversation. Top man.